1, 2, 3.
Connection to local trading network established. Transporter ordered at shipyard. You can order fighter ships that will help to protect your factory. After you order one or more fighters from the shipyard that manufactured this factory, these fighters will fly to this factory and protect it.
So if I got a place from here and dragged it, 2 systems over, these ships would have to fly all that way? Jesus.
Fighter ordered at shipyard. Funds transferred. You
Out of the night that covers me. Ooh, there's one of mine. You can tell it's mine by the gold border on it. Oh, and the other one. Nice. Out of the night that covers me, black is the pit from pole to pole. I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the foul clutch of circumstance, I've neither winced nor cried aloud. Under bludgeonings of chance, I am bloodied, but unbowed. Beyond this place of rat and tears looms but the horror of the shade, the terror of the shade. And the horror of all years will find me, and shall find me, unafraid. No matter how strait the gate, how charged with punishment the scroll, I am the master of my fate, the captain of my soul. And Victor. I didn't get quite the read of it right. I always botch up the middle two. The first and the last are easy enough, but
Sun Oil Refinery Alpha.
let me look it up. This is giving me something to talk about, so if you have an issue with it, now swivel. It's Invictus. Yeah, it was Invictus, apologies. By William Ernest Henley. Out of the night that covers me, black is the pit from pole to pole. I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the foul clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody, but unbowed. Beyond this place of rat and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. No matter how strait the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll, I am the master of my fate, the captain of my soul. I said about trying to learn that after seeing it in Shadow of Liberty, the original version of it. StarCraft custom campaign. I quite liked it. And the poem is in the public domain. Fantastic. I remember reading poetry before and I was a little antsy in case it was copyrighted. So I sought to only read stuff that was translated by of course, by Lord Byron. Because he died a while back. He's an interesting guy. I heard one story that he was going to bring his dog to Trinity College with him. So, he brought his pet bear, because that wasn't against the rules. And then one of his dogs had contracted rabies. Without an ounce of worry for himself, he tended to it personally. And rabies is, I think even now, there's difficulties in curing it. So, yeah. I also heard a story that I haven't been able to confirm, but I want it to be true. He had a falling out with a friend, and then he disappeared. So that friend contracted a second friend, a friend of the two of them, to get in contact with him, to find him. And the second friend was able to track him down to a brothel, where he found him malnourished and dehydrated. I don't think he was, staffing the place. I think he was just enjoying himself too much. So when he reported it to the first friend, the guy was just like, you should have let him there. Just thoroughly about the whole thing. Like, here he is worrying about the dude, and he's just like, killing himself through sexcapade.
Nose drop oil sold.
Does William Ernest Henley have anything else of interest?
Target now locked on.
Honestly, if in English we covered people like this song or, other works rather than Sylvia fucking Plath, it would be better. I would have actually had some interest. Like, I had passing interest at most in her work. At fucking most. She was not interesting.
Successfully docked.
On behalf of Chairman Keogh, the Palanai Company are delighted with the opportunity to make great profits.
I like Catalys's work.
Welcome on board this Sun Oil refinery.
We covered a bit of him for classics. The teacher had to carefully curate what we covered for it because a lot of his poems are rather sweary. I remember finding one before that I could never find since that was just seemingly just a spate of insults. I'm not sure if it was an actual poem of his or what, but yeah, just a spate of insults and degradations. A friend joked it was like he had Tourette's or something. I saw another one where he was saying that, if a woman slept with a particular man, should she be considered lesser for it? Like, he was so bad that the foulness would rub off. Let me just find it here. Okay, Catullus ended up starting to turn into Cthulhu. Hold on, one sec. Okay, how the fuck do I spell Catullus again?
Products are not bought.
Catullus. I can't put an H in there. Ah, and now I can afford a full volley of them. Weird. This site had Catullus poems on it before. I guess they removed them. Victus is Latin for unconquerable.
Target now locked on. Space Missile Factory Beta.
And according to one site there, that the one that translated that was claiming that Henley had tuberculosis as a child, and when he was young, and he survived it, and Invictus was the was about it. Apparently, he had contracted tuberculosis of the bone in his youth, and the lower part of one of his legs was amputated in his 20s. Jesus.
Successfully docked.
On behalf of Chairman Keogh, the Palanai company are delighted
That's a good poem.
with the opportunity to make great profits with such as you. Welcome on board this space missile factory.
It's a solid poem. All the more poignant given its origin.
To local trading network established. Resources are not sold. Nostrop oil sold. Target now locked on. Sun Oil Refinery Alpha.
I wish I could find this.
This is Patella positive. Please dock as soon as you get green position lights.
Oh, God. I was worried I was going to have to try and dive away. Equal to Jove that you must be, greater than Jove he seems to me, who, free from jealousy's alarms, securely views thy matchless charms. Let cheek whichever dimpling glows, the mouth from whence such music flows, to him alike are always known, reserved for him and him alone. Ah, Lesbia, 'tis death to me, I cannot choose but look on thee. Whilst trembling with 1,000 fears, parched to the throat my tongue adheres. My pulse beats quick, my breath heaves short, my limbs deny thy slight support. Cold dews my pallid face overspread, with deathly languor droops my head. My ears with tingling echoes ring, and life itself is on the wing. My eyes refuse the cheering light, thy orbs are veiled in starless night. Such pangs my nature sinks beneath, and feels the temporary death.
Products are not bought.
Translation from Horace. The man of firm and noble soul. Oh God, I have to find that.
Nostrop oil bought.
Catullus 16. I want to read this one. It's apparently been described as sometimes used as a title. Well, sorry, the first line, sometimes used as a title, has been called one of the filthiest expressions ever written in Latin, or any other language for that matter. And so much so that it was actually left untranslated for centuries. Catullus 16.
Target
Cat,
now locked on.
ULLUS,
Space Factory,
16. I know Byron translated this.
This is the positive. Please dock as soon as you get green position lights.
Once I hit a kilometer, I'll, yeah. Just, I don't want to read one where someone decides to, sue me for it. Okay, there's one here on Wikisource. No, they claim that they translated it, but it seems familiar to me.
Welcome on board this space missile factory.
I will sodomize you and face fuck you, cocksucker. I will sodomize you and face fuck you, cocksucker Aurelius and bottom bitch Furious, who think for my little verses because they're a little soft. That I have no shame. For it is right for the devoted poet to be chaste himself, but it's not necessary for his verses to be so. Verses which then indeed have a taste and charm, if they are delicate and have no shame, because they can incite an itch, and I don't mean in boys, but in those hairy men who can't move their loins. You, because about my many verses. Sorry, because about my many thousands of kisses you've read, you think me less of a man. I will sodomize you and face fuck you.
Nose drop oil sold.
Catullus! Seriously, if we weren't this in school, my god. I would have actually cared for poetry. Catullus 17. Oh, Colin, I don't know how to say that.
Target now
Colonia?
on.
Oh, they added G in English. It's Colonia in Latin, but in English it's Cologna. Oh, Colonga, you wish to play on a long bridge and are ready to jump.
As soon as you get green position lights.
Let me just handle this. But you're weary of the awkward legs of a little bridge standing on second-hand planks, lest they go upward and settle in the deep swamp. Out of your lust may the bridge be good for you. This bridge, on which even the rites of Subosarius might be undertaken. So grant me the favor, the greatest laughter, Koeniga. I want a certain townsman of mine to go plunging at first into the mud, or rather where the lake of the stinking swamp is a blackish blue hole, as nearly bottomless as possible. The man is well nigh witless, and he doesn't sense so well as a 2-year-old boy in the dawdling forearm of his sleeping father. Though he has for a wife a young woman in the freshest flower, and the young woman friskier than the tender little bird must be guarded from the clutches of very dark grapes. He lets her play as she pleases. He doesn't care a hair, and doesn't rouse himself from his lethargy on his own behalf. But he lies just like an adder, tree in a ditch, an elder tree hamstrung by a ligament axe, sensing everything just as well as if it didn't exist at all. Such a clod as this one might sees nothing and hears nothing, and he doesn't even know whether, and he himself doesn't even know whether he exists. Now I want to send him face down from your bridge, if that can rouse his dull senility, and leave his helpless mind in the heavy slime as a she-mule leaves her iron sandal in a glutinous pit. Probably rhymed better in the original Latin.
Nostrop oil thought.
Again, that's the issue with translations. Things don't always flow right. But I will sodomize you and face-fuck you. Cocksucker Aurelius and bottom bitch Furious. That translates quite well. Ah, Catullus, I love you. Aurelius, father of hungers, not only of these, but of however many have ever been, or are, or will be throughout the years. You want to bugger my boy. Not secretly, for you're always with him. You joke around together, attached to his side, you try everything. For although you plot against me, I'll stick it in you first. My dick in your mouth. Still, if that were enough, I would keep my peace. Take offense now at this, that the boy will learn from you, me, the hunger and thirst. On account of which, lay off, while you can do so chastely. At least you should reach your end, with a dick in your mouth. But with a dick in your mouth.
Please dock as soon as you get green position light.
Oh, that's hysterical. Seriously, seriously, Catullus is fucking fantastic. Let me steer this into port. I will sodomize you, and I will face fuck you. So that's Catullus 21. A number of his poems have been lost, so... If Serenus of yours, Varius, whom you have known well, is attractive and well-spoken and sophisticated, the same man makes the most verses by far. I think that either 10,000 or more have been written by him, nor have they, as is the custom, been written by the palimpsests. But royal papers, new books, new scroll knobs, red letter straps, skins aligned with lead, and all things have been smoothed with promise. When you read these, that handsome and sophisticated Serenus is seen as a goat milker or a digger again. He shrinks back and changes by so much. We think, why is this so? Why is this? He who just now had been seen as a jester by Mauner, or somebody rather knowing about this thing, the same one as Dord in a dull countryside. As soon as he touched poems, same one is not ever as equally happy as when he writes poetry. He rejoices about himself and admires himself so much. Evidently, we are all deceived the same way, nor is there anyone whom you are not able to see so fairness in some way. To each their own error has been assigned, but we do not see the knapsack which is on her back. Seems to be that there's one guy who reads one way to everyone, but is very different in his poetry. He's not as great as one guy's selling him to be.
Nostrop oil sold.
I wonder how this place is doing. I'm going to take a quick little sojourn over to it. But, yeah. It seems to be that he's different than how he normally is with them. Let me have another look at it. Trying to articulate it. Like, add context to it off a single read, which is rough.
No aim.
No aim. Okay. That sophronus of yours, Varus, whom you've known well,
Or mine.
is attentive and well spoken and sophisticated, and makes the same man, and the same man makes the most verses by far. I think that either 10,000 or more have been written by him, or no, nor have they, as it is custom, been written on palmacets, with raw papers, new books, scroll knobs, red letter straps, skins, ironwood lead, and all things have been spooned with pumice. When you read these, that handsome, sophisticated Serenus is seen as a goat milker, or a digger again. He shrinks back and changes by so much. We think, why is this? Who just now was seen as a jester by manner, or as somebody rather knowing about this thing? The same one is dowered in the low countryside, as soon as he touches poems. The same one is not ever as equally happy as when he writes poetry. He rejoices about himself and admires himself so much. I think maybe dude was a con artist. He was passing himself off as better than he was. Oh, like he was like yanking other people's work. It's hard to know. Like again, I'm trying to articulate it, give context to it off the cuff.
Ore mines are mainly built around small asteroids because of the higher productivity that the low gravity of those asteroids allow. Asteroids are first analyzed with special scanners for their richness in minerals. The mines are operated by teams of robots overseen by miners. The ore is processed and transported to weapons factories where it is used in the making of metal parts.
There's a hell of a stock of energy cells inbound. It's made any money, it's been spent on further energy cells. I could go and claim the 32 ore that's in it and go sell it myself. But I'll leave it to his own devices for now. I could sell it and at a profit, at a markup, but I want to see. It may just take a little bit for it to really kick into gear. Like, maybe other ships won't come to it till it has more ore in it. Or they mightn't come to it until their own transport ships come back from whatever long journey they've been on.
This is a positive. Please dock as soon as you get green position lights.
But, yeah, it might just take a while, like, maybe their ships are on a bit of a jump, and they're slow moving, so, like, they don't rush around like we do. So, maybe it will just take a moment for them to deposit whatever ore they have inbound, and then start favoring my place, because it's nearer. Or, whatever. It just needs to be active for a bit longer. Furious, you who haven't got a slave, no piggy bank, not a bug or a spider or heat, but you certainly have a father and stepmother, whose heat can even choose sand. It's delightful for you with your father and your father's wooden wife. No wonder, since you all do well with everything. You endure nicely, you fear nothing, not flame nor total ruin, not evil deeds or slanders lies, or other chance of dangers. But really, are your bodies any drier than bone, or than anything, if there is anything, made even drier by sun, cold, and starvation. So wouldn't everything be well and happy for you? You are without sweat, spit, snot, or runny nose. To this neatness add even a greater neatness, because your asshole is cleaner than a salt dish. Not 10 shits in a whole year, and they're harder than a bean or little pebbles. And if you touched it and probed it with your hands, you could never slip a finger into it. Furious, don't despise these lovely comforts or think them worthless. And as for that grand you always beg, leave off with 100. You're happy enough.
Products are not bought.
Oh god, I love guitars.
No strop oil bought.
The Juvelenthi are a distinguished family from Tusculum, a large Roman city in the Alban Hills, and the boy, Velocius Luventorium, is the boy with whom Catullus has a sexual relationship, referred to in other Catullus poems 15, 21, 23, 24, 48, 81, and 99. Divitas Maidae refers to the wealth of Midas, or endless wealth. Aesthetic kai Nike service est Nike arca refers back to Furius in poem 23. I tried to speak Latin. I do not speak Latin. Unless you want me to try poorly quote one-winged angel right now. Sephiroth dun. I'm not gonna try. But, yeah.
Target now locked on.
Oh, you who are the little bloom of the Juventian race. Not only of those now, but of however many there were, or however many will be in the coming years. But to give you the wealth of Midas, to that man for whom there is neither a slave nor a coffer, then that you suffer to be loved by him. Why, you ask, is he not a good man? He is, but there is neither a slave nor a coffer to this fine man. Joke and dismiss this as much as it please you. Nevertheless, he is neither a slave nor a coffer.
This is fertility positive.
I think that's just his way of saying, he'd be a broke bitch! So, Talus, you sodomite, softer than the fur of a rabbit, or the marrow of a goose, or the lowest little earlobe, or the weak penis of an old man, or a sight full of cobwebs, and the same. Talus, more rapidious than a wild storm. When the wild Mercia
Successfully docked.
close. When the wild Mercia shows the sleepy onlookers, send my cloak back to me, which you had stolen, and my Sabaton cloth, and my biotin tablets, inept one, which you possess openly for yourself as though heirlooms. Now unglue and send these back from your claws, so that your soft little flanks and delicate hands may not be scribbled upon, burnt repulsively with a whip, and that you shall not ride unusually, just like a tiny ship caught in the great sea with the wind raging.
Protected targets. The silkworm can only be found on heavy battleships like this. No strop oil.
Actually, this place itself would be of interest in buying my ore.
Taladi and sun oil is the main Taladi food product. This space missile factory manufactures the Silkworm class space missile. It combines the latest breakthroughs in quantum technology.
Sun Oil Refinery Beta. Is there a second one? Yeah, it seems there is. The F on the far side? That seems to be it. Furious, your little house is not mortgaged against the blowing of the south wind, nor the west, nor the raging north or the east, but truly against 15,200 Certes. What a horrible and pestilent wind. Servant boy of old Valerian wine, pour pungent cups for me, as orders the law the mistress, Posnernia, drunkard than a drunken grape. But go as far away from here as you please, waters, bane of wine, and to the sober ones migrate. Here, Bacchus, the wine is pure.
Please dock as soon as you get green position lights.
Successfully docked.
On behalf of Chairman Keo,
Excellent, Varentus, you and my fabulous aides to Paiso, a useless brigade, with backpacks ready and likely equipped. How are you doing? Have you not suffered enough hunger, cold, and discouragement with that guy? Did your gamble show a bit of profit on the books, as it did for me, who follow my leader and counted experiences a bit of return? Hey, Memimus, long and slow you fucked me, in the mouth face up with all that cock. But as far as I can see, you two are in the same mess, since you are stuffed with a prick no smaller. Find rich friends. May the gods and goddesses give you lots of trouble. You embarrassments, Romulus and Remus. My god. I love Catullus.
Products are not bought.
I goddamn well love Catullus.
Use drop oil thawed.
But yeah, it seems you don't have to give money to the transport ship. You give it to the factory, and that divvies it out. So I thought you had to give it to each individually, and then the factory as well, or some bullshit. But either they misexplained or I misunderstood. But thankfully it's not nearly that bad.
Beta.
Who can witness this? Who can tolerate it? Unless the shameless and voracious and insatiable gambler that Mumara has, that which hairy Gaul and farthest Britain had before. Catamite, Romulus. Will you see and bear these things? No.
positive. Please dock as soon as you get green position lights.
Will you see and bear these things? That man now, arrogant and overflowing, will make rounds of everyone's bed like a white cock pigeon or an Adonis. Catamite, Romulus, will you see and bear these things? You are a shameless and voracious and insatiable gambler. Was this the reason, one and only commander, that you were in the farthest island of the west? So that worn-out penis of yours consumed 200 or 300? What other is a perverse generosity, if not this? Has he not achieved enough gluttony? First his inheritance was torn into pieces, next came his spoils from Pontius, and then from the Iberus, which the gold-bearing Tagus knows well. There is fear now for the Gauls and the Britons. Why cherish this scoundrel? What can he do but smear and devour inheritances? Was it this for that you, O pious men of the city, father-in-law and son-in-law, have laid all to waste?
Breakthroughs in quantum technology with the warhead. Resources are not sold.
My god, this is just bleeding down. Like, well, it's their store of it's just dissipating, and it's a good day for me. Okay, how am I financially? I'm doing pretty well. Let's head to the trading sector.
Target now locked.
Alphenius, mindful and false to your like-minded companions. Now, does it pity you nothing, harsh one, of your sweet old friend? Do you no longer hesitate to betray and deceive me, traitor? And the impious deeds of treacherous men do not please the sky-dwellers, which you neglect and you desert me in evils. Alas, tell me what men should do, or in whom men should have faith. Certainly you have ordered me to hand over my soul on fair one.
This is positive. Please dock as soon as you get green position lights.
Leading me into love as if everything would be safe for me. Now the same you draw back you and your words and all your deeds you allow the winds and airy clouds to carry away unfulfilled. If you forget, but the gods remember. Fate, loyalty remembers. You who remembers, who later will make you regret your deed. I will sodomize you, and I will face fuck you. Cocksucker Aurelius and bottom bitch furious. I'm not swearing here. I'm merely quoting poetry, Philistine.
Company are delighted for the opportunity to make great profits with such as you.
Oh, Cirimo, little-eyed peninsulas and of islands, whatever in shining lakes or vast sea either Neptune brings, how gladly and happily I go to see you, scarcely myself, believing myself, that I have left behind Tenia and Bithynian fields, and that I see you in safety. Oh, what is happier than warriors released, when the mind sets aside its burden, and when it be exhausted from foreign labor, I've come to our home and rest in our longed-for bed. This is what the one thing in return for such great labors. This is what is the one thing in return for such great labors. Greetings, O beautiful Cirimo, and rejoice in your master rejoicing. And you, O Adian, wave at the lake. Laugh whatever there is of laughter at home.
is used throughout the whole universe by many races.
I could actually buy the license here, but I'm not going to. Because it's not worth it from the sounds of it. You clip anyone, you ding a station, you lose it.
Salvage insurance allows a recoverable... Cargo bay extension installed.
I could actually afford another one, but that would completely hamstring me. No. That's mine there. Wait. How are you doing?
Target now locked on ore mine.
Location profit share. Why did you go so bloody far away? You're right next to two energy bays. Maybe they didn't have enough. I would suggest I saw a single ping of ore go through. Without a mineral scanner, I have no idea what tier of thing I have. I can only presume it's quite possibly the very lowest. I was hoping Fortuna would smile on me with my gamble. There we go. I beg you, my sweet, my Ipsilla, my darling, my sophisticated beauty, summon me to a midday assignment, and if you're willing, do me one big favor. Don't let another client shoot the door bolt. And don't decide to suddenly go cruising, but stay at home and get yourself all ready. For 9. Yes, 9. Successes copulations. Honestly, if you want it, give the order. I've eaten, and I'm sated. Supinated. My prick is poking through my cloak and tunic.
Target now locked on. Sun oil.
I felt something
refinery.
pop in my throat. Popping and locking against as well.
This is positive. Please dock as soon as you get green position.
A Palnai sun oil refinery is the place where the flower heads of the Palnai sunrise flower are pressed and then processed to produce the crude oil known as nostra. The refinery requires a constant supply of Palnai sunrise flowers. Successful.
Cleverest of all thieves of the bats, Father Benius, and you, his profligate son. For the father has a dirtier right hand, but the son has a more voracious anus. Off with you into banishment in the dismal regions, since the father's plunderings are known to all the world, and son, you cannot sell your hairy bottom for an as.
Nostrop oil thought. Target now locked on. Space missile.
Oh, I love this.
Beta.
We chased girls and boys under the tutelage of Diana. Chase boys and girls, let us sing to Diana. O daughter of Leto, great offspring of greatest Jove, your mother bore you near the Dowan olive tree.
Target now locked on. Space missile factory. Beta.
This is
So you might be the mistress of the mountains, and of the growing woods, and the secluded woodland glades, and of the sounding of rivers. You are called Ukana, Juno, by the women in the pains of childbirth. You are called powerful Trivia, and you are called Luna by your borrowed light. You, goddess, in your monthly course, marking off the journey of a year, you fill up the rural hut of the farmer with the crops. By whatever name pleases you, may you be hallowed, and as you've been accustomed to before, may you preserve the offspring of Romulus with good aid. Papyrus, I would like you to say to the love poet, my companion, Cecilius, that he should come to Verona, leaving behind the walls of the new Comum and the Larian shore, for I wish that he would receive certain thoughts of his and my friend. Therefore, if he will be wise, he'll devour the road. Although the bright girl may beck 1,000 times to the traveling one, and throwing both hands on the neck, she would ask him to delay. Now, she, if true things are being announced to me, desperately loves with uncontrolled passion, for the time she read established mistress of Dinamon. Since then, flames have been consuming the internal marrow of the miserable little girl. I pardon you, a girl wiser than the Sapphiric Muse, for the great mother has begun for Cecilius in a charming manner. Some of the stuff is very cryptic. It seems like he wants a friend to invite another friend of theirs over and advise and guide him. And he's having some like romance issues. But after that, my understanding dissipates.
Target now.
This is positive. Please dock as soon as you get green position lights.
Annals of Volusius, shitted papyrus, fulfilled the vow of my girl, for to the sacred Cupids and Venuses she promised, if I were reconciled to her and stopped the brandishing savage lambs, that she would give the most select writings of the worst poet to the lame-footed god, to be burnt with unlucky firewood. And in this way she saw that the worst girl wished humorously and charmingly to the gods. Now you who are born from the blue sea will dwell in the sacred Edelium and open Urium, and in Arconia and reedy Cindius, and in Amathus and Golgi, and in Golgi, and Dericinium, the shop of the eruditic. Record this vow to have been accepted and returned, if it is not uncharming and unwitty. But you, meanwhile, go into the fire full of rapacity and clumsiness, annals of Volusius, shitted papyrus.
Based on sunflowers. Products are not bought.
Lustful tavern and you comrades in arms, night calm of the temple of Pastor and Pollux. Do you think that you alone have dicks, and that you alone are permitted to fuck, all at once, whatever number of girls, think everyone else goats? Or can it be that 100 or 200 of you idiots sit in an unbroken line? You don't think I would dare to make all 200 of you lazy acids suck my dick? Know this, I will plaster the exterior of your entire tavern with drawings of cocks. Because my girl who fled my lap, having been loved as much as no other will ever be loved, for whom by me great wars were fought, sits together with them in that place. This one you fine and all well-to-do fellows, all of you love, and which is undeserved indeed, all small-time tugs and alleyway adulterers. Above all others you, one of the long-haired son of your bunny-filled borderlands, Ignatius, whom a dark beard and teeth scarred with Spanish piss make a fine gent. Okay, it seems that the girl he likes has left him and is fucking... It seems to have taken up residence in a brothel. And then there's a jibe that the guy has terrible teeth. Looks like he's been swilling Spanish piss. Probably terrible Spanish alcohol, but given these people's predilections, you never know.
Successfully?
It is bad, Cornificus, Witcher Catullus, it is bad with me. By Hercules, and full of our work, it is worse, and it is worse each day, every hour. Do you, what is smallest and easiest, bring any consolation? I am angry with you. So much for my loves. Any little consolation will please me, sadder than the tears of Samandius.
Resources are not sold.
Ignatius, because he has bright white teeth, always smiles. If someone comes to defendant's bench, when the speaker rouses weeping, he grins. If there is mourning at the funeral pyre of the dutiful son, when the bereaved mother weeps for her only son, he grins. Whatever it is, wherever he is, whatever he is doing, he grins. He has this disease, neither elegant, I think, nor refined. Therefore I must warn you, my good Ignatius, if you were a city man, or a Sabine, or a Taburian, or a thrifty Umbrian, or a fat Rustican, or a swarthy and tooty Anuvian, or a Transpadane, to touch on my own people as well, or anyone you like who cleans his teeth with clean water, I should not want you to smile on all occasions, for nothing is more silly than a silly smile. Now you are Celtiberian, in the land of Celtiberia. Whatever each man, whatever each man is urinated. With this he is accustomed in the morning to rub his teeth and red his gums, so that the more polished those teeth of yours are, the more urine they proclaim you have drunk. Oh, I need a board from here, Jesus. Actually, have I been, like, doing this on such autopilot that I actually forgot to buy over here last time? What bad mind, wretched little Radavis, drives you headfirst into my lambs? What god summoned not well prepares to rouse a demented fight, or to summon into the mouths of the crowd? What do you want? By any means do you wish to be known? You will be, seeing how my loves wish to love with a long penalty. You will be, seeing as how my loves you wish to love with a long penalty.
This is positive. Please dock as soon as you get green position lights.
Whew.
Successfully?
Heya, the war-worn prostitute, demanded the whole 10,000 from me. This girl with the ugly nose, friend of the indebted man of Framanius, relatives to whom the girl is of concern, called together doctors and friends. The girl is not sane, nor is she accustomed to ask her bronze reflective of her looks.
Products are not bought.
Wait, I had it? Okay, no, it seems when I quickly looked at it, I have no idea anymore. I have no idea. I thought I had gone there with nothing, or I'd already sold stuff. But then when I arrived there, I had a full inventory. I'm just getting turned about now. I'm getting too caught up in reading poetry.
Now locked on. Space
Come.
Factory Beta.
Heck of the syllables. As many as you all are from all sides, however many you are. A foul horror thinks that I'm a joke and denies that you may return to her tablets, if you are able to endure that.
This is positive. Please dock as soon as you get green position lights.
Let us follow her and demand back. Who is she, do you ask? That one, whom you see with an ugly march, laughing as an annoying mimic. I want the mouth of a Gaelic dog. Stand around her and demand back, rotten whore. Give me back my tablets. Give the tablets back, you dirty whore. Do you not make an ass? Oh, filth, brothel, or whatever more depraved thing you are able to be. But nevertheless, we must not think this enough, because if no other is able to let us force a blush from the wild, faceted dog. Shout out again with a greater voice, rotten whore, give back my tablets. Give the tablets back, you dirty whore. But we benefit nothing. She is not moved. The reason messes must be charged. If you're able to benefit more, chaste and approved one, give us back the tablets. Must be changed if you're to benefit more.
Resources are not sold.
I love the initial
Sold.
seasons.
Salvage insurance allows a recoverable.
Jesus, there was a huge skip in time there. I could have lost a ton. My fucking god. 16 hours here. Over, if you're counting my debts. Actually, one second. Hey folks, and I'm back. Let us continue our poetry reading, shall we? Okay. Greetings, you girl with neither a little nose, handsome feet, black little eyes, long fingers, a dry mouth, and truly tongue not exceedingly elegant. Girlfriend of bankrupt Romanius. Does the province say that you're beautiful? Is a lesbian compared with you? Oh, insensible and coarse generation. Lesbia is the woman that he has quite a thing for. A lot of his poems are centered on her. Lesbia is not her actual name, though. It is a name that's phonetically similar to hers, so that when he was alone, he could say her name to himself and without having to change the poem. But in public, he could use a pseudonym, basically. But apparently everyone knew who he was talking about. She was infamous for sleeping around with her husband. It was, from the sounds of it, was an open secret.
Connection to local trading network established.
I wonder if I'll go up any further ranks beyond director. Oh, my farm, whether Sabine or Tibertine. For they say that you're Tibertine, for they for whom it is not pleasing, the harm could tell us. But they for whom it is pleasing assert that you are Sabine by any wager. Oh, my farm, whether Sabine or Tibertine, for they say that you're Tibertine, they for whom it is not pleasing to harm Catullus. But for they whom it is pleasing, assert that you're Sabine by any wager. But whether Sabine or more truly Tibertine, I was gladly in your suburban villa, and I expelled a bad cough from my chest, which my stomach gave to me, not undeserving, while I seek a lavish dinner. For while I wish to be a esteemed guest, I read the speech against the candidate Anticus, full of poison and pestilence. At this point, a chilling illness and persistent cough shook me continuously, though I fled to your embrace, and restored myself both by leisure and nettle and herb. Therefore, give my highest thanks to you, because you have not punished my mistake. So I pray, if I again pick up the malicious writings of Cestius, that their chill bring an illness and cough not upon me, but rather upon Cestius himself, who invites me only when I have read his bad book.
No strop oil bought. Target now locked on. Space Missile Factory, Beta.
The Septimus, holding his lover Acme, in his bosom, said, My Acme, if I do not love you with abandon, and if I am not prepared to henceforth love you consistently for all years, as much as he who can love the most alone in Libya, and in sweltering India, I shall come to meet the blue-eyed lion. As he said this, Love sneezed approval on the left as before on the right.
This is positive. Please dock as soon as you get green position lights.
Fuck it. But Acme, likely bending her head, and having kissed the infatuated eyes of the sweet boy with her red wine-red mouth, said, Let it be thus, my life, my little Septimus. Let us forever serve this one master, so that a passion far greater and keener may burn in my soft marrow. As she said this, Love sneezed approval on the left as on the right. Now, having started off on a good omen, they love and are loved like-mindedly. Poor little Septimus prefers Acme alone, this Syria and Britain. The faithful Acme finds pleasure and desire in Septimus alone. Who has seen anyone happier? who has seen a more blessed
Local
love.
trading network established. The silkworm. Nose drop oil sold.
You know what? I think I'm actually going to call it here. I'm getting...
Salvage
I'm kinda
insurance
getting
allows
tired.
recoverable programs
So,
to be
till
put
then,
into
till
operation
then.
that will enable